What is going on, Slay Baes? It's Ashley and welcome back to another day in quarantine. I know it's getting super old at this point, but today I woke up knowing I wanted to film but not really knowing what I wanted to film. So I thought I would film a 0 to 100 glam makeup transformation. Even though I have absolutely nowhere to go, we're gonna play with makeup to pass the time. I have a really good mixture of both drugstore and high-end makeup, so I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. In my mind, I know I wanna take this look, but I have no idea if I'm gonna be able to take it there and execute it the way I have it envisioned in my brain. So let's hope we can do that. If you guys are not yet subscribed, make sure you guys press that subscribe button and click that bell just so that way YouTube will notify you when I upload. Remember, it literally costs you nothing to support your favorite influencers during this quarantine. Likes are free, subscribing is free, clicking that bell is free, and comments are free. So show love down below in the description. And with that, I'm gonna zoom you in so that way we can start it on this base. So let's get into it. All right, you guys, so the only thing I have on my face is a little bit of sunscreen, and I also use the Benefit Foolproof Brow Powder in my eyebrows. I don't know, I've been really into like a softer brow. I'm also gonna use a little bit of this Stila. What is this? This is the Stila All Day Waterproof Brow Color in the shade Dark. You guys know I love creating like fine hair-like strokes with this. So I'm gonna mimic like hair-like strokes right here through the tail. And I really like to start with a very light hand, just so that way this doesn't get too dark and too messy. I'm also gonna create some hair-like strokes right here towards the front of the brow just to match the tail a little bit better. Now I'm just going to brush out my brows just a little bit to blend them with a spoolie. I'm just using the spoolie on my Goof Proof brow pencil, but you can use whatever spoolie you have at this point. And you can either leave them like this or carve them out with a little bit of concealer. I'm definitely gonna go in and carve out just like a little bit to kind of clean up my brows underneath, but maybe not so much above. So I'm gonna use the Revolution Conceal and Fix Ultimate Coverage Concealer. This has salicylic acid in it, so it is gonna be really good for like blemishes and stuff like that. But I do have a significantly lighter shade for my skin tone, so I can't really use it for like blemishes. But if I had the shade for my skin tone, I would definitely use this because it is a pretty good concealer. It's super creamy, and if I had to compare it to anything, I would definitely compare it to the old ABH potted concealer. It is literally that good. So I'm gonna take a flat brush like this. This is a Morphe M124, and I'm gonna clean up underneath my brows. Now that I have that concealer like underneath my brow, I'm just gonna take like a brush, a fluffy brush, and just kind of blend it out. Now I'm not gonna take that concealer above my brow. I took a little bit of it like right here, but you can definitely see like that white cast, and that's definitely a no-no because when you go in with your foundation, it'll be like white above your eyebrows, and that's not really what we're going for. So I'm just gonna kind of buff it out, but I'm gonna leave above the brow a little bit bare because I can clean it up with foundation. I am gonna move on to eyeshadow primer. I'm gonna be using this P. Louise base. This is in base 2. It's one of my favorites for application, like eyeshadow application to prime my eyelids. Girl, I'm gonna take this all over. It kind of has a consistency of concealer, but it doesn't like make the eyeshadows get like blotchy or patchy or anything like that. And it also really mutes out my eyelids like no other. Okay, so now that lids are nice and primed, I am gonna jump into eyeshadow. Now I do have options for you guys because I know some people are really into affordable palettes, some people are into high-end palettes. So I do have a high-end palette that I will most likely be using in today's video. This is the new Nudes palette by Huda Beauty. I've used this like a handful of times on my channel and never again, but it is a really beautiful palette. I really wanna create more of like a soft glam look with like mauves and pinky tones. So this is a palette I'm gonna be using. I kind of sorta want to replicate like what she has going on here. Like it's kind of smoked out, it's soft, but you also have like that shimmer on the lid. So we'll see what happens. If you guys don't have the New Nudes palette, you can also use this by Physicians Formula. This is the Rose All Day palette, and the tones within this palette, the shades, are very, very similar, if not spot on dupes for the New Nudes palette by Huda Beauty. I do have a side-by-side comparison video where I did like one side high-end, one side affordable, using both of these palettes. So if you guys want to see that, I definitely recommend that you check it out. I will have it listed in the cards right here. But I'm going to start off with this white shade right here, and I'm going to take it like on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to put it in my crease. I'm just going to go in big circular motions. This is going to be a nice base color for my eyeshadow. I'm also going to take it underneath the brow. I don't know, I've been really into like neutral tone eyeshadows recently that I'm like, okay, I kind of want to step outside of the box. Let's play with some pinks, and let's do something soft, smoky, and sultry, but not too much. I'm now gonna take the shade right here called Play. It is a really pretty like peachy tone shade, and I'm gonna use this as my transitional color. And I'm gonna kind of blow it out like here. So now that I have that peachy tone shade all in the crease, I'm gonna build it up a little bit with a little bit more of like a neutral color. I'm gonna take this shade right here called Secret, and I'm gonna take it on that same kind of tulip shaped brush by Morphe, and I'm gonna put it directly over top just to kind of neutralize this pink and make it like a little bit more like mauve. All right, you guys, so I think that's looking really, really pretty. I'm now gonna go in with that same M441 I used before, and I'm gonna go back into that shade called Bear, and I'm gonna use this to kind of like tone down everything, especially like in my crease, because I want it to be really pretty and soft. I'm just gonna take this all over everything. This is gonna help like give it a better blend. All right, so I definitely want to go in with some kind of liner for this look. So I'm going to go in with the shade called Raw, this one right here, and I'm going to start lightly smoking it out. And the only reason I'm using the shade called Raw first is because it is kind of like the second darkest shade within the palette, and I don't want to go in with a super dark shade all at once. I want to slowly build it up. I'm gonna take a little bit of Raw, and I'm just gonna start blending this out here just to make it a little bit more soft and smoky. I'm also gonna connect the liner right here in like the very inner part. I'm gonna use this brush right here. This is like a flat shader brush. I have no idea where I got it at this point, but I really, really love this kind of brush. It reminds me of like a MAC brush. Can't remember the name, but I will put it up on the screen. Fun fact, that was my first ever MAC brush I ever bought. Why? I have no idea, but I'm gonna use this to start to really buff this out. Now, I feel like this liner, it's dark, but it's not dark enough, so I'll definitely be going in with Love Bite, which is that purple from within the palette, just to give this like a different look. And I also want to go in with like some shimmers on the lid. I don't know, this look is definitely taking a turn, but I'm not mad at it. I think it's pretty so far. Now, I know it's kind of strange to be putting on so much makeup and just staying at home, but like I said in some of my previous videos, I feel like now is the perfect time to play around with makeup, because you can literally do whatever look you want, wear it around the house. No one's gonna judge you. You're either gonna be by yourself or with your family, and I mean, I feel like it's just a really fun time to just play and experiment, you know? That's kind of my vibe right now. Like, let's play, let's experiment, let's figure things out, and let's have fun. All right, so we're in a really, really good place with like the smoked out winged eyeliner. I definitely want to deepen up my crease, but before I do that, I want to go in with the shade called Love Bite, which is that purple, and deepen up my liner, because I'm definitely going to add shimmer to this look, but I definitely want my liner to have more of like a gradient. So I'm going to take a Love Bite closest to my lash line. Oh, so I think that looks really good. I do kind of want to do what's on this though. As you can see, it kind of gradiates up, like the shimmer is like blended in the very like inner 1/3, and then the wing is very, very obvious here. So let's see if I can achieve that. I'm gonna go in with 2 different shimmers. The first shimmer I'm gonna go in with is this one right here called Crave. It's that really pretty like champagne. And I'm gonna take it on like a flat brush. Actually, I'm gonna take it on this brush right here. This is a Pro Shadow number 15. And I'm gonna spray this brush with a little bit of fixing mist. I'm gonna use this one by Glow Recipe, just to kind of give it some slip and really build up the color. So here we go. I've never done this before, so I have no idea what is gonna happen. I think it's gonna look really pretty. Oh my god, this is so pretty. Okay, so the next shade I'm gonna use, I think I want to use like the pink, like the very soft pink called Daydream. So this one right here, right underneath Crave, and I'm gonna take it on with my finger actually. I'm just gonna blend the 2 together. I do really want to pack on this shimmer, especially towards like the base, so that way I get a good blend going. I'm also gonna take a little bit of that champagne on my finger. So kind of like that, and then I'm gonna go in with just a little bit more of the shade called Love Bite, and I'm really gonna blend it into the shimmer. I still want you to be able to see like that base of purple, but I want it to gradiate up into the shimmer. So I definitely feel like this is different, but it adds like a very soft element of surprise to the overall look. I do want to add some definition like towards the very like outer V corner area. So I'm going to take some of this shade right here called Teddy. And this is an M502, I want to say. No, M505. But I'm going to take this like right in here, just to create some more definition to this overall look. And I think we are money, honey. So I definitely feel like we are in a great place. I'm now gonna pop on false lashes. I'm gonna use these by Lily Lashes. These are in the style Miami Flare. I really love them because they kind of flare out towards the ends, hence the name. And I feel like they'll really complement this eye look and this eye shape. So I'm gonna pop these on really quick so that way I could really clean up the fallout because it's out of control at this point. So now that my lashes are on, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of mascara. I'm using the Milani Highly Rated. Honestly, this is highly dried out. I really need to go pick up another one, but stay home, quarantine. Don't leave your house if you don't have to. Yeah, this one's a little bit too dried out for me, so I'm just gonna use what I have over here. This one is by Fenty, but again, it's just mascara and we're wearing falsies, so it doesn't even really matter what you use. I'm gonna go in with a makeup wipe. These are from Billy. You guys know I have been loving these, and I'm gonna use it to clean up the fallout here. So far, I feel like we're in a really, really good place as far as like eyeshadow and stuff goes. I was experiencing like a little bit of like watery eye syndrome as a result of those shimmer shadows from Huda. It was a little alarming. So let me know, like, has that happened to you guys? Do your eyes water when the shimmer kind of gets in your eyes? Because that kind of happened to me and I was like, what is going on? Now I'm gonna jump into primer. I'm gonna use this by Bobbi Brown. You guys recommended this to me. This is the vitamin enriched face base. This is literally incredible. I barely used it on my channel just because I always feel bad using like super high-end beauty products, but at the end of the day, like if I love it, I love it. I should be able to use it. So I'm gonna put this all over. I love the way that this preps and primes my skin for foundation, and it also smells really, really good. So I'm gonna put this all over. You guys are gonna see just how like dewy and glowy my entire face is when I put this on. It is next level. Now I'm gonna go in with foundation. Now the foundation I'm gonna use today is my tried and true at the moment. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in the shade Soft Beige. I've been loving this. Ooh, before I do that, I'm definitely gonna go in with some kind of color corrector. I'm gonna use this one right here by LA Girl. You guys know I have to color correct. I literally almost forgot and I'm like, hold up. pump the brakes. So I'm gonna put this right here in the very inner corner to combat those dark circles. And I'm also gonna take some right in this area. I also like to take this like on my blemishes because anytime I get a pimple, I will literally scar, and it is so sad. Like, sad day when I scar as a result of any blemish. I'm gonna go in with the Beauty Bakery sponge and I'm gonna blend this out. All right, now that that's nice and blended out, I'm gonna move on to foundation. Again, I will be using this by Wet n Wild. This is in soft beige, something like that. I will have it listed down below. Now this also comes in the regular, I guess, formula, but I've been loving the dewy one for like a really pretty, like luminous glow. I'm gonna put this all over and I'm gonna blend it out with a sponge. While we're here, I would love to know what shows you guys are watching on Netflix. Like, give me some recommendations. Like, I'm losing my mind at this point. I feel like I've watched literally everything on Netflix. Gossip Girl, Ozarks, Pretty Little Liars, like Big Little Fires. I know everyone is telling me to watch Money Heist, but Ulysses has an issue with watching shows that aren't like in English because what they're saying doesn't really match their lips. And I've noticed that. I'm like, wow, like I totally get it. Like you can't really connect to what they're saying, but some people say it's not that bad. If you guys have watched Money Heist, let me know what you think of it and how you feel about the words not matching their lips. Am I the only one, or are we the only ones who can't really get down with that? We probably are, because I feel like so many people recommend shows that really aren't in English. Let's move on to actual concealer. I'm gonna jump back to using the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I haven't used this in a little minute, and the shade I'm using is Light 40N. I'm also gonna mix in just a little bit of Medium 100, just because I don't want this to be too light. Again, this is a full glam look, so don't be shy. I'm gonna take a little bit of that medium shade because, like I said, don't want it to be too light. Honey, this is, ooh, loving it. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of baking powder. I'm gonna use this by Huda Beauty. This is in the shade Pound Cake. I have not tried out this shade right here. I got it for the sake of wanting to try it out. Could not speak for a second. And I just never got around to it. So I'm gonna put some on the cap. I'm gonna use that same sponge. And I'm gonna look up and press this in this area. I do really like Huda's powder in general. I did have the shade Banana Bread, but it was just like way too dark for me. So I decided to get Pound Cake. And it was sold out for a while. I'm glad it's back in stock. I'm also gonna take this down the center of my face and also like alongside my nose. Pretty much all the areas where I get oily. Okay, I'm gonna switch brushes, or I'm gonna switch from a sponge to a brush. And I'm just gonna dust this underneath my eyes because that sponge, it was not working out for me. I felt like it was barely picking up any of the product, but this is a lot better. I'm also gonna go in with a little bit of this Physicians Formula finishing powder in the shade Light. I'm just gonna dust a little bit underneath my eyes. This is really gonna help further brighten. Okay, so for actual face powder, I know I'm using a lot of powder, but I do like to be overly powdered because at the end, I'll go in with some kind of setting spray and it really melts everything down and makes it look a little bit more skin-like. I'm gonna go in with the LA Girl powder. I recently started using this again and I really, really love it. I'm gonna take this all over the areas where I didn't like put any of the loose powder, and I also didn't put any of the brightening powder by Physicians Formula. So pretty much like around the perimeter of my face. So before I continue on, let's talk lower lash line really quick. I think I'm gonna take this shade right here called Love Bite, and I'm also gonna mix it in with some of Tease, and I'm really gonna smudge and smoke that out on my lower lash line, just because I want everything to connect. So I'm first taking the shade called Tease. It is a really beautiful kind of like plummy mauve. Then I'm gonna pinch my eye with a little bit of Love Bite right here towards the outer corner. And then with like an M506, M507, I'm gonna take some of the shade called Tickle, which is a really pretty soft pink, and I'm gonna blow it out. I am loving the way that this is turning out, honestly. I didn't think I was gonna love it this much. I'm gonna go in with a nude liner. You guys know I love this one by LA Girl. This is in Super Bright. And I'm gonna take it all in my waterline to really like bring the eyes out, make them on and pop in. And then once I have this in there, I'm gonna go in with a flat definer brush with a little bit of the shade called Love Bite. And I'm just gonna drag this super close to that lash line so that way it makes the liner stand out and pop a little bit more. I'm gonna put a little bit of mascara on my very lower lash line, and then we'll move on to the face. Now that powder is done for the most part, I'm gonna go in with just like a little bit of brow gel, because do you guys ever feel like after you put on powder and stuff that your brows look like a little ashy? Well, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I also feel like the tail of my brow kind of stops in a very, very like abrupt way. So I need to fix that. I need to drag out my tail a little bit further. All right, now for bronzer, I'm gonna use the Fenty Sunstocka bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. I'm gonna use this to bronze up my forehead. I feel like it's so different putting on bronzer, especially now because my hair is not done at all. I'm still debating what I wanna do with it. Do I wanna do like a slick back bun? Do I wanna do a ponytail? Do I wanna do a low pony? Like, all of which involve me putting my hair up. I know a lot of you have been asking in the comments why I don't wear my hair down anymore. And it's because I am on a curly hair journey, and right now I'm just not 100% comfortable with my naturally curly hair. I'm still trying to get it to a point where I love it. And also a lot of you asked why I don't straighten my hair, and it is because I'm trying to get my natural curly hair back. So
they leave me alone.
No tea, no shade. Like, it's just what I'm into. It's what I've been loving right now in this moment, and I feel like you guys should love it as well, because at the end of the day, it's my hair, not your hair. Just going in big circular motions and bronzing up the face. Now for my nose, I am gonna switch bronzers. I really love this one by Milani to add just slight definition to my nose, but nothing too much. So I'm gonna take it on a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna take it all the way right here in like the inner socket, and I'm really gonna concentrate right in this area, because this is gonna pinch my nose at the bridge and just give me a little bit of definition. And I'm also gonna take some right here at the very tip. And I wanna do this very, very softly. Let's go in with blush. I'm gonna use this by Milani. This is the color Harmony Wheel in the shade Coral Beams. And I'm just gonna pop a little bit of this on my cheeks. Actually, I need my blush brush because I love this for applying a blush. I like this one because it has like a little shimmer to it, and I feel like it complements the eyes really nice. definitely want to go in with some highlight. I'm going to use this by Too Faced. This is the new Turn Up the Light Complexion Enhancing Highlighting Palette. I had to read that for a second. That's a really long name. I'm going to take this soft focus powder and I'm going to focus a little bit of it right here on the apples of my cheeks. It's going to give me a little bit of shine. Just like that. And then I'm also gonna take the shade called Glow and I'm gonna stick it right here at the highest point of my cheekbone. And I like to take Glow here instead of right here is because I feel like this really accentuates a lot of texture. Even though this is kind of doing that too, but whatever's left on my brush, I'm just gonna put it on my forehead, Cupid's bow, and down the bridge of my nose. So I think the last and final thing I have to do is my lips in setting spray. So I'm gonna go in with this lip liner right here by MAC. This is in the shade Strip Down and it's one of my personal favorites. I'm gonna line my lips with this. I'm also going to take a little bit of this by Physicians Formula. This is the Rose Kiss All Day Velvet Lip Color, and this one here is in the shade Pillow Talk. And then directly over top, I'm gonna add a little bit of gloss. This is by Milani. This is their Luster Light Ludicrous Lip Gloss. Last and final step is setting spray. This is the Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist by Glow Recipe. All right, Slay Bae, so this right here is the final and completed look. I went ahead and did my hair off camera because I was looking all kinds of ratchet. I just kind of did a slick back pony. Let me know what you guys think of the final and completed look. I feel like it is still that very effortless, very smoked out soft glam, but incorporating more mauves and more pinks and purples. I'm definitely digging the vibe, but I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Again, I did incorporate high-end and also drugstore products, but you can use whatever products you guys have at home that are similar in color. With that, let me know what other videos you guys want me to film. I know we're in quarantine, but I love to film videos that you guys want to see, whether that's how-to videos, makeup tutorials, first impressions, whatever the case may be. So make sure you guys leave me your recommendations. And I don't think I have much else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.